So basically, I want to give you a little bit of context before we get into the questions because you've been an OG right from the beginning. You've been intrigued with Clue Labs. We've had a couple of chats where we've gone through it, like we've walked you through how to use it, how it's working and everything. But you are, I know with content, sometimes it doesn't feel like it because it is a like every week, it's like exercising every week, every week.
The muscle that you must build.
Literally. But you've been freaking killing it. Like you really have. And I've pulled out your statistics. So basically, so most accounts your size, so around 1,700 followers, sit at about zero point 0.1 to 0.2% engagement and they stay flat forever. Like that is the benchmark. That's what's happening. Nobody does like gets out of that really. And most people think that the only solution to kind of getting out of that is posting more and basically burning out and going mental about it. So what you've done over the past, so I've pulled out your stats from the beginning of September. So we've got 3 months of good stats. You haven't changed your niche. You also haven't increased your posting. You haven't gone super viral. You have stayed so consistent at like 2 to 3 posts a week and you talked about exactly the same topic in exactly the same way. And I know a lot of people might be like, oh, I don't know, like, oh, she didn't go viral, she hasn't increased that and that. But that's not, you don't want to. Like, you just want to be able to get growth with what you were doing anyway. So, what you've managed to do though in 3 months is your engagement has rose from the low 0.1% to almost 0.4%, which is a 245% increase. I know!
Even I didn't know
I
that.
know. I thought it's like a reveal. Considering most accounts, your like the good accounts of your size will sit about 0.35%. You are now very well over your benchmark for your account. And also your Clue score, which is an internal thing, but it's a score that measures your consistency, your engagement rate and growth rate, was sitting around about a medium 55, and now you're consistently hitting a 70. And you've also added new followers every single week. So which is rare. Normally you might add some, but you might go down and it kind of balances out. But you're just so good because you're not changing anything. You're doing exactly the same thing as normal, posting 2 to 3 times a week, which is a real achievable amount of consistency.
Yeah.
And yeah, 245% increase. You've grown your Clue score and you've got followers every week, and now you're always over benchmark for your size. Like it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, apart from anything else, I would say the number one noticeable thing is when I go into my Instagram insights, all the arrows are going up.
Yes.
All the arrows are going up. And I'm like, okay. And the other thing I've super noticed, particularly since I've been following, this program that we've been on in the run up to Christmas,
Oh yeah.
2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. So I'm in the final phase now. For example, my reel this morning, I looked at it just before we came on the call. I'm at like 91% non-followers on my reel. That never happens.
That's so
What?
good.
So like, yeah, consistently my reels have been going to non-followers and the numbers of non-followers has been going up and up as I've been staying on this consistent path. So yeah, I like even with I do look at the Clue score and I do look at the emails that I get that tells me, oh yes, you're doing quite well, and oh yes, keep up with this consistency, Katie. But as I said, even the basics of just looking at my Instagram insights, just the numbers are just this. So
Oh, so in your own words then, how do you like use Clue Labs? What would you say is give all of that growth context? What do you do? What do you use it?
So I use Clue Labs basically as a marketing advisor. And I have to say, I have also actually stopped working with my VA recently because I have actually just been using Clue, then
Don't
repurposed.
tell us.
Yeah, well, I think she knows.
Okay.
But I've been using Clue to give me the ideas, to give me the briefs, and then I do use additional AI to help me like come up with different ideas. Usually I'll say to it, right, this is the brief, give me 3 different topics to look at, and then I will use that to sort of pull together a proper post. I have been super consistent on your advice with following the pattern that I've been sort of set out by Clue, and also with the content, because again, I was one of those people who in the very early days was like, this is so repetitive, this is so repetitive, and I kept kind of ignoring when it was telling me to do exactly the same thing again and again. But since I've listened to you and since I've been like watching the scores, I've noticed that the repetition seems to be working because, as I said before, all of my numbers are going up, up, up. My non-follower numbers are going up, up, up. I am getting more followers And, real life, I have never been busier than I have in the last 3 weeks. And I can't say for definite that every single one of those people has
Yeah.
turned around to me and said, "Oh, I've seen your content on Instagram. It's amazing." But something's happened because I've had two people completely out of the blue find me via Google. So I just think that all of it is just making me much more visible, much more searchable. And yeah, I literally have been like, I think it's working, guys, because
You're
it's
gonna make me cry.
so
It's so good.
so busy. And I'm not complaining, but yeah, I was like having to message people on Thursday. I was blocked out all day for a one-to-one client, which is an existing client, but I was blocked out all day for them. And then I had all these new people messaging me being like, "Can I have this? Can I have this?" And I was like, "Guys, I'm going to five. I really can't do it tonight." It's been a really, really busy few weeks. And everyone keeps saying to me, "What have you done different?" And I said, "Well, I've been super, super consistent
Yeah.
with my marketing. I've been super, super consistent with my messaging. And yeah, it's not the kind of ROI that you see like this, but definitely, like, I have seen the numbers going up. But like I said, I can feel it. I can see it in my diary. I can see it in my workload. Like, I'm just getting busier and busier.
Oh, wow. Okay, I've got some key questions I want to ask.
Okay.
So before you used Clue Labs, what was
Mhm.
your biggest frustration with social media and how was it holding your business back?
Oh God, the thinking of ideas,
Mm.
the constant wheel of like, what am I gonna post? I had a real cycle of content that I would just kind of cycle through, but I wasn't particularly inspired by it. I didn't think it was particularly interesting all the time, and if I'm not interested in it and I'm creating it, then it's not going to be super interesting for people that are reading it. It was just that thing of like ticking off the okay, I've done my content. I've fed the algorithm in the old world. I've done the posting. That's
Mhm.
kind of all I can do. Whereas now I'm so much clearer on the purpose, the message, and my voice as well, even though like obviously Clue is AI and I'm using AI, but like I know what I want to say so much more. And it just helps me be so much clearer with who I can help, what I can do, what makes me magical, because I am.
Yes. And so then what changed once you started using Clue Labs and what did it help you understand that you couldn't before?
I think, as I said, the main thing was the consistency, that it's okay to keep repeating yourself.
Mm.
I think that's one of those things you get told, by these marketing gurus of like, not everyone sees your content and you can reuse. And I did to a certain point, but like I don't feel that my messaging was particularly coherent or cohesive even. So that's what I feel about it now, that I feel that it's really clear the path that I'm taking people on, and it's really clear like who I help and what I do. It's not just that I'm constantly giving away tips. I'm not just constantly giving value, value, value. I'm actually selling as well, and I'm also still adding value, but that I feel I've got a much better balance of that now.
Yeah. And so can you tell me about a moment at which you realized that it was actually working? Was it or a time period?
Well, the time period that I've realized it's actually working is right now. So busy. Yeah, I mean, I think one of the times I realized it was really working was when I was sat on your webinar talking about all the changes that are going on in Instagram at the moment and all of the shifts towards AI rather than the algorithm manipulating people's feeds. And as you were talking, I could see this is what I've been doing. This is what we've been doing. Like, this is how we've been working. And I wanted to send a screenshot to the chat of my Insta, with all the ups, because I just wanted to be like, no, guys, no, this is real. Like, this
Yeah.
is, I can see it. I actually can see it. So, yeah, I mean, that was a real moment for me where I was like, I'm not just being a hype woman. I actually have hard proof that there is real stuff going on here.
It's funny because just to go off tangent a little bit, I think I'm the same as you in that sometimes I look at the suggestions and I'm like, oh, I want to be more creative than that. Or like, I want to
So
make something pretty.
Or sometimes the suggestions are like, do this, 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 and this. And I'm like, no, I'm going to be sat at my desk because I can't do that.
Yeah. No, no, I don't have the
But
time for that.
I'm like,
Sorry. No.
no, sorry.
Yeah.
And it's like, cut to this, someone holding this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, we're not doing any of that.
But still, you're like,
But
yeah,
still,
something,
I'm like,
something.
the overall message, sure, let's just make it more me to camera. Again, I know I'm sort of a slightly unique human that I don't mind speaking to camera. I think that's just I'm kind of
You're good at it.
I'm good. Thank you. I feel I'm okay at it. All those drama lessons at school have finally paid off. All that money my parents spent on extra drama.
Get
Um,
my content, Mum.
it's funny, again, tangent, but me and my sister were talking about it. Like when we used to go on holiday, and I'm a child of the 80s. Camcorders were like massive on your shoulder with an actual cassette tape that went in. But
Yeah.
we would make these little videos of us, like, running to the pool, and then you'd press stop, and then it'd be like rolling over the other side of the pool. We're making reels before they were even a thing.
Oh, look at you.
Born to do it. What can I say?
So off the back of that then, how has Clue Labs changed the way you create content? I mean, you've not got a camcorder with a big thing rolling
No, I
across.
don't. I don't. I would say refined. I would say
Mhm.
it's really refined how I've started posting. Like, I just think that there's a much stronger like narrative through my posts now, that they're not just like total random HR facts splashed in every now and again with the odd sales post where I think, oh God, I haven't done a sales post in a while. I have a real consistent message. I'm talking to the same people. I'm talking largely around the same things. And I just think I am bit clearer and a bit more straightforward with, this is who I can help, this is what I can do, this is why you might want to work with me. I just think it's that clarity. Clarity's the word. It's brought clarity to my content, I believe.
Is it changed the actual way in which you work? Like a process? Are you batching where you weren't before? Or, I mean, you're so consistent that I assume you've always batched, but
I have, yeah.
yeah.
So because I'm doing it week to week at the moment, I'm only batching like 1 day a week, whereas I was batching for a whole month.
Oh, yeah.
So, but now, yeah, I batch for a week normally.
Yeah. It's
I've
just something that I know, I thought you were doing it anyway, but I was like, because I think, I personally think Clue Labs would really help someone who isn't batching with that batching process, because it's like, right, make this.
Oh, I mean, yeah, for me, I was on my own and I just thought, I've got a busy week, like let's batch my content. So I just sat for a couple of hours and I got my reel done, I've got my static post done, and I got my carousel post done. And I just sat and I just did it all. I had everything flowing. I tend to do, when I'm batching, actually, I tend to do, the Clue Labs ideas.
Hmm.
Then I will go through and I will do, say it's a reel first. Okay, let's get the topic for the reel sorted. Let's get the script for the reel sorted. Then I'll do the same for the static post. Then I'll do the same for the slides. Then I go into the creation.
Hmm.
So within my batching, I sub batch because it's easier for your brain if you're not going all the way through the creation content for one thing, if you see what I mean. So I batch the clue bit. I batch the actually physically like pulling it all together on Canva or Adobe Express or whatever you use. And then I do the posting and the scheduling
Mm.
and the editing, and so I sort of split that up into chunks. But yeah, I'm batch batch. I can't, otherwise I just don't get it done. I get too busy. I suppose maybe that's slightly because I'm a service-based provider, so like I sell time largely in chunks. So for me, that's just how my brain works, that I just know that that's time I have to put into that content, and that's
Yeah.
time that I have to block out from not being available for clients. So I know that if I batch of, say, a Monday morning, I usually block out for content creation, and then I just know that that's my content for the week. And then obviously I still go in and interact with people, and I'm still on Instagram because, like, my name's Katie, I'm an Instagram addict. But I personally can't be thinking, oh my God, when am I going to pull this next post together? Because that's always gets like pushed or kicked down the road. So it definitely helps me focus in getting it done, and just knowing that I can sit and follow a process and get it out.
Has it saved you time from before?
I think so, because it's less random. As I said, I don't sit down and think, I don't have 2 hours of going like, what the hell am I going to talk about?
Yeah,
Like,
fair.
it just tells me, this is what you want to talk about. This is what you're going to do. And I'm like, okay, yes, that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, I suppose it has. It's just, yeah, it's just quite different because I do it in a slightly different way now. But yes,
Mm.
there's a lot less guessing.
Yeah. So if someone was hesitant or thinks that they can figure it out themselves, what would you say to them?
Sure, try. See how you go. Is that not what you wanted? Crack on, mate. Keep me posted. No, I would say
I'm not cutting that out.
I would say try.
Mm.
Try Clue, do the trial, because this iteration of it is so intuitive of how to use as well. And the way that it explains why you're doing it, what the purpose is, it really does break down that kind of that marketing jargon, I suppose, of like just posting and guessing has kind of gone away for me. Like I
Mhm.
know that I do an image post because XYZ. I know I do a carousel post because XYZ.
Mhm.
It gives me the reasons of like, this is why we're doing this. This is the kind of reach, or this is the kind of interaction or engagement you should expect. It's just not a guessing game anymore. And when I'm sort of trying to explain to people, they sort of nod and smile. But if they were to see, as I said, my insights and my numbers,
Yeah.
I just don't think there's just no denying it, because they're just too different to what it used to be. Like I said, like apart from anything else, the difference of my Reels views that is like not in followers to followers. My Reels views used to be almost entirely followers,
Mm.
and it is like the one today has literally flipped on its head. Like it's so different, and it's just amazing. Like that's who I want to be talking to, because those are the people that are hopefully going to come along. Those are the people I want to reach.
Yeah.
So I just think, yeah, the whole thing you were saying about like don't confuse the machine.
Mm.
But I mean that's totally been my mantra recently, of like I did have a little wobble midway through when I was like, I just keep talking about onboarding all the time. But then I was
Yeah.
like,
I think we had a chat about it, didn't we?
yeah, it's like, but yeah, that's okay. And it might be that my next 8 weeks, I'm talking about appraisals, or, performance reviews, or like, I focus on a different thing for another 8 weeks. But like, because I don't always have to talk about on onboarding, but for this process that I'm currently following, it has
Mm.
been working really, really clearly. Yeah, as I said, like genuinely never been busier. So, which is great timing when the boiler broke. So
Do you think anyone can actually do it by themselves anymore?
I was thinking about it because I was talking to my best friend who's a photographer, and she shares her stuff on Insta, and her numbers are super consistent, but she's a photographer. So do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
always got images to share. She's always talking about the same things, because so the algorithm, or the new algorithm, does sort of, she automatically is already working in that way.
Hmm.
I think she has noticed it less than maybe some other service-based businesses, because her content is already so focused. But I think it would be interesting to talk to other people in different, more kind of service-based niches, to see. Because yeah, I do think it's quite interesting when you talk to other people about, how they're finding it. Because I definitely had that thing of not really understanding why I kept seeing all these like suggested posts and all these random things kept popping up. But now I'm obviously starting to make more sense of it. And the other thing that it's made me do, I will say as well, is I've been a bit more careful about curating my own feed
Hmm.
with the people I'm following and with the people I'm engaging with. I have to be honest, I was one of those people who was a bit snooty about engaging with people in their own niche.
Right.
But I have given myself a talking to off the back of your
Yeah.
advice. So I'm trying to like not just look at my content, look at my sort of whole holistic approach to Instagram to improve that as well. Because, there's so many things that you can do to improve it that I just don't think you would get to on your own.
Yeah. There's a lot. And just to like round it off, is there anything else I haven't covered, or anything else that you think's worth saying?
I can't wait till it does things other than Instagram.
I know, me too.
Yeah, I mean, just an OG user, I am quite thankful that I kept with it, because where it is now is like so fantastic. And I thought what Clue Labs was going to be like an AI creator of content for me. I always thought it was going to be like I was going to press a button, and then magically all this perfect content was going to appear, and I would just have to post it, and I would just do nothing. That is not the case. I am still very, very involved in making my own content. But as I said, what it has given me is this really clear focus, a really clear message, and consistency that I definitely wasn't getting to on my own. And that is definitely thanks to Clue. That I definitely wouldn't have done it without you guys.
Thank you.